Hello and welcome to Tricks of the Estray channel. Today is the 7th of March 2017, and in today's video we have the family of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the former governor of California, and his wife Maria Shriver. Now, before I go any further, as I always say, we have nothing against transgenders. We're here just presenting facts to you, trying to make you understand your world. And if it's your first time of watching this video on our channel, advise that you pause this video right here and that you watch and you go and look for the primer video on this channel. You watch that first. When you're done watching that, you can come back and continue this video. You should also download the attachment that's attached to every video that we make. It's a document which will show you the visual differences between a male and a female. Download and read that document, and at your own time try to watch the Zayn Malik video and also watch the Marilyn Monroe video. Now, with that said, as I've always said before, that there's a machine in place, which is a system that's put in place, controlled by the hierarchy, and that hierarchy is the Vatican. All right, the system put in place in taking kids, transgendering these kids before they reach the age in which they can make a decision to want to live the fantasy of saying, okay, I'm not the gender I'm supposed to be, then I can try to turn myself into another gender which is different from the birth gender that I have. So like I've always said, it's the Vatican that's making this possible. Now I'm going to prove some sudden facts about that today to you, because whatever I say, I present facts. So, and one of the things before I get into the video actually is to remind you that that one of the reasons why transgenders, right, are used is because they saved as high-level political appointees, people that you can trust. Because as I've always said, when you castrate a man, you take the ability of that man to function as a normal human being in society out, because he can't function as a man anymore without the male genitalia, and he can't function as a woman either because he can't bear children. So what happens is that you have to create a false sense of reality for him to live, and that becomes his life, that becomes his family, because those ideals are his family. That's what accepts him, and that's what he accepts. So with that said, let's get into the video today, which I say is about Arnold Schwarzenegger's family. I don't know if I'm chopping up the name right or wrong, but you know who I'm talking about. The former governor of California State, the Terminator. You know who it is. So, but first of all, let's get into his wife, so I can show you some facts. All right. Now, his wife is Maria Shriver. If you go to the Wikipedia page, right, on Maria Shriver, I hope this still stays on. I'll just read something to you. She's they say she's an American journalist, activist, author of 6 best-selling books, and former First Lady of California, because she was married to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I believe, now this is my own thoughts, right? This is not based on fact. I think that the reason why Arnold Schwarzenegger became the governor of California state is because of this woman, Maria Shriver. All right. And the reason why I think so is because I think she's one of those royal elite transgender families which have direct links to the Vatican, like, you know, direct links to that. And the reason why Arnold Schwarzenegger is the man who he is, because I think he was just a regular guy, a regular like bodybuilder who met this woman, and this woman fell in love with him. And now regarding this, because there are levels of transgenderism in the Vatican, there is the royal elite, and then there's just people who do it because of the fame and fortune that it brings in Hollywood. All right. So now with this royal elite transgendered people, or people who maintain a family line to the Vatican, because as we've always said, if you've ever heard before that all presidents in the United States are somehow related, and that is a fact as well. So I think she belongs to that family line of people who have been produced to be rulers, the political appointees, right? So now let's further read this. So as you can see, it says here that just follow my mouse, all right, that she is a member of the Kennedy family, right? Her mother, Eunice Kennedy Shriver, was a sister of John F. Kennedy. If you follow my mouse, all right. So we'll stop right there. Now, one thing you have to know is this, that this is just my thought. When this royal elite family, which are directly owned and controlled by the Vatican, all right, if they ever fall in love, right, they can fall in love and marry whosoever they want to marry, but they can't have children with them because that will mess up the seed line, that family line. So that's the reason why I think that Arnold Schwarzenegger's family is the way it is. And if you keep watching this video, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, just to go any further, let's take a look at Mary Shriver. Let me just show you what I'm saying. This is the wiki page on Mary Shriver. If you scroll down, right, and read that bio page right here, you will see that they say religion is Catholic. So people don't just think that I'm just talking and just making up stories. You would see her religion is Catholic. Her alma mater is Georgetown University, which is a Jesuit university, and I'll show you that in a minute. As a matter of fact, Georgetown University has produced most of the presidents that America has ever had. You can go look that up in your history. But so when you go to Georgetown University, let me just to prove that to you, you click on Georgetown University, right? Now you go to the bio page of Georgetown University, and what are you going to see here? It says affiliation. Follow my mouse. Roman Catholic Jesuit. So it doesn't just seem like I'm just talking, I'm making up stories. I'm showing you facts, all right? Mara Shriver, Georgetown University trained Jesuit, and is also Roman Catholic, showing you the people who run the system, all right? So now, with that said, let's just get into the family like I'm trying to show you, okay? Now here is Arnold Schwarzenegger's family, all right? And the one thing that you will notice is that none of these kids look like him. Like, for me, to be very, very exact, the only person that is of the real gender, born gender, and who still remains that gender is the daughter here, whose name is um hold on, I'm trying to recall the name now. Whose name is oh, I can't recall the name. What is your name? Just hold on a second, let me get the name and then I'll get back on this, all right? All right, so the name of the daughter is Catherine Schwarzenegger, all right? She is the only person I think is of the gender that she's born, because I've checked her out and she's female. Now, this right here, this is Patrick. He was rumored or is currently dating Miley Cyrus. And this is the another son called Christopher. And this is the daughter's name, who's Christina. I don't think none of these three are the gender they claim. And I don't think any of these children are children of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, like I had said before, the reason being, like, she's of a royal Vatican Roman Catholic family, who are the controllers, the people who will run the system, the high level of political appointees. So they can be messing up the line. Does it make sense? The seed line, because that's how these things are. So with that said, let's get into the video real quick and start showing you differences. Now, here's the so-called son of Arnold Schwarzenegger, whose name is Patrick. And if you look at Patrick now, he's trying to bulk up like his father, but as his supposedly father, but he's female. He's not male. So now, one of the major differences in bulking up a female is always that there is always a problem with the pectoral muscles, the muscles on the chest, because these muscles are not designed in a female to be able to have that kind of mass development. The reason being, this is supposed to be bearing breasts, right? Female breasts. So these muscles are not designed to have that kind of massive development like a man would be. And I'll show you I'll show you the differences in a minute. So let me just show you a difference real quick so we can continue this conversation. All right. Now here's a female bodybuilder. All right. If you can see, the pec muscles can't be developed that well because it's supposed to be carrying breasts. So it's always going to be like mostly underdeveloped no matter what the female does, no matter the hormones or testosterone she takes. This will not be developed. It doesn't matter what workout. So she can develop every other place, but that will be flat chested because it's designed to carry breast. I'll show you some other pictures of some other female bodybuilders. All right, you can see that again here. It's designed to carry breasts. Right, let me blow this up a little bit more. All right, it's supposed to carry breasts, so the pecs will never be developed properly. That's the problem with bulking up females, right? You can bulk up everything else. Now, I didn't want to show you that yet, so let's go back again and show you some other pictures. This is another female. As you can see, the pecs will always have a problem, all right, because it's not designed to carry that kind of mass. They can bulk up any other thing by feeding testosterone and all that, but this will always have a problem. And this is still another female bodybuilder, just to show you what I mean. The pecs will be always underdeveloped because it's not designed, all right, to carry that kind of massive muscles. It's designed to carry breasts, okay? And one more picture, you can see that these pec muscles will always be flat because it's not designed to be huge. It's designed to carry breast, as you can see here. All right, I'm sorry if this is too graphic for anybody else that's watching, but it's just educational. Now let's show you how the differences between the male pecs now. As I've said earlier, now if you can compare the pecs on the man over here is super developed. He's a bodybuilder. I think this is Mr. Derek Jackson or so. He was a former Mr. Olympia, right? Now you can see with this other man too, those pecs are really developed. If you compare that with a female bodybuilder over here, it's not going to be the same thing. It's always going to be flatter, as you can see right here, right? Flatter as compared to the man over here. So with that said, let's get back into the video with Patrick Schwarzenegger right now, and this is him getting this is she, I'll call it a she at this point, trying to get bulked up. Some more things to show you. Now you look at that arch in that back, and this is Miley Cyrus that he is supposedly dating. You can see that arch. Now you have to know that the female pelvis is tilted forward, so that when a female is pregnant, the child can stay inside the womb and not drop out of the pelvis. And with a man, the pelvis is straight. So I'll show you, if this is your first time on your channel, I'll just show you a quick preview of that, of our document that you should be looking at. Now this is the pelvis. As you can see, the pelvis is always shaped like a bucket. Now if you're looking at this picture right now, with a female, the pelvis is tilted forward just like you see it right here, right? So that when a female gets pregnant, the baby can stay and not drop outside. With a man, the bucket is much more straighter. Now let me show you some other pictures. Let me try to scroll down a bit more so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find some more pictures in this. So when a female stands, right, it's gonna be like she's leaning forward because of the way the pelvis is shaped. So as you can see right here, it's gonna be leaning forward. All right, let me see if I can show you some other good clearer pictures from the side. So the pelvis is tilted forward. As you can see, this is the pelvis, right? Just like I showed you in the other picture, it's tilted forward, all right, for females. And that is what Patrick over here has, all right? Some more pictures. We're gonna be moving further. This is Patrick's so-called sister, which I think is a boy, Christina Schwarzenegger, because for some reason I couldn't find any. She's like the most clothed teenager I've ever seen, right? Wears flats, covers up our legs, covers up everything. And I know females don't dress like way. If you're a teenager, you want to show some skin and stuff like that. Wear heels and look good and look fabulous. But this one didn't do that. So let's go further. Some more pictures to show you. You see the arch in his back right there? That's the arch of a female. It's not a man, okay? It's a transgendered female. Transgendered male, rather, I would say, right? See that arch right there? A female always has to have an arch in her back so she can carry the weight of pregnancy when she's pregnant. Okay, let's move further and see that you're looking at a female. See that face? See that? See the way it's walking? See the legs over there? It's a female of so much of testosterone that it's got hair growing out and everything and looking like a male, but it's not. It's a female. Some more pictures to show you what I mean. Now look at that. Now if you compare the pelvis of the girl that Patrick is standing over here, all right? Let's compare. This is a female over here. You see the arch, how it curves, right? That hourglass figure, and it's the same thing that Patrick has over here. Comparable, two females, all right? And the flat chest, the short shoulders, all right? The shoulders are not extending out of the body. And you look at the face as well. That's a female face, all right? This is two females. You see that hourglass curve that she has with the female over here? Can you see that? It's the same thing. You're looking at two females. Some more pictures, all right? And look at that hourglass figure again. The female indentation above, the navel. See that figure right there? And he likes wearing this kind of boxers to hide the hips, but you can still see the hourglass figure right there. If it's your first time watching the channel and you don't know what a female looks like, let me see if I can find a quick page of that. Let me see right here. Let me see if I can find something. See that hourglass figure, all right? See that? That's what he has over here. Same hourglass figure that a female has, all right? So Patrick is female. There's some more pictures, right? See that? He's leaning forward. Look at that. The pelvis is leaning forward. See this other dude over here? His pelvis is straight up and down. But in his case, in Patrick's case, it's leaning forward. Can you see that? It's tilted forward, bent a little bit forward. That's why you can see this deep angle, right, from the navel inside, right, because it's a female and you can still see the arch in the back, right? And you can still see that arch, the S-shaped spine in the back, and that's Miley Cyrus over there. Can you see that over here? Just follow my mouse. There's an arch in the back, right? It's tilted forward, just like you have Miley Cyrus's over here, all right? And some more pictures, and you have to see this one very clearly. You see that? That's how a female stands, right? When she's standing, you can see that deep arch in her back, right? And the pelvis leaning forward. You're looking at a female, okay? Now, here is Patrick again with another dude. As you can see the hourglass figure, you can see the Q angle, right? The Q angle is the angle between the hips and the knee. It's very, very acute for females. If you're not aware of that, let me just show you from a document so you could understand that real quick. Let's look at the Q angle here. Let me go up a little bit more so I can show you what I'm saying. So you can see the Q angle, so you can know what we're talking about. All right, let's go up a little bit more. All right, right here. So this is the Q angle. It's the angle between the hips and the knee. It's very, very acute because a female has a wide pubic arch. The pubic arch is right here. The pubic arch is about 120 degrees or more for females. So it makes the legs, the hips of the female to be farther apart, and that causes the Q angle, right? So, and with men, the pubic arch is much more closer, 90 degrees or less. So the legs are more straighter. There's less of that Q angle. And that's what you have with Patrick over here, all right? If you compare him with the male on his right, you can see the male has a straight, the Q angle is very, very small or minute. In Patrick's own, as you can see, right, it's very, very acute. showing that you're looking at a female, right? And you can still see the hourglass figure right there. And you can see the dude over here is straight up and down, straight up. Okay, and the thing that about the pec muscles that I was trying to show you, see, this is a flatter pec muscle. You can see over here that it's more developed. It's coming forward out, looking that you're looking at a male over here, and this is a female over this way. All right, let's go further up, and here is another picture. That's the back, just to show you, because with females the shoulder blades, right, are much more closer to their backs. Okay, it's going to be more angled. When a woman stands, you're going to see much more of that shoulder blade. With a man, it will be flatter out. If you haven't known that, if it's your first time, again, I'll just refer you back to a document one more time. Let's go up further so we could show you what we're talking about, so you could have a clearer picture of what we're saying. All right, so with a female, right, the shoulder blades here are much more closer to the spine. They angle out more. You're going to see it more angled out, right? Closer to the spine, right? More angled out, closer to the spine, right? More angled out, closer to the spine. With a man, it's going to be flatter, right? You won't see that angle. It's not going to be closer to the spine. The shoulder blades are farther apart and they're flatter, right? Farther apart and flatter. Farther apart and flatter. With Patrick over here, it's closer together, and you can see the angle, right? And you can still see the arch in his back, all right? Showing you that looking at a female. This is two females with Miley Cyrus, all right? Another picture, and I want you to take a good look at that face. That's a female face. It's not a man's face. You can see there is no eyebrow ridge. It's just a sweet girl who's been taken and forced to live this way. I'm just trying to show you, because when people, I present facts to you so you could understand how deep this thing runs. Okay, let's go further again, and you can see here is Patrick with another male over here. If you compare the calf muscles, you can see how smooth and beautiful his calf muscles here. It's something that he's going to be working on in the near future to bulk it up so it will look like a man's legs. You can see, if you compare with the man over here, you can see how rugged, right, those calf muscles look compared to this. See how smooth and beautiful and rounded it is, and look at how rugged and angular this creates over here. Like, you're looking at a male over here and there's a female over here. You can still see the hourglass figure. You can see that this man's zone is straight, right? He's straight, right? He doesn't have any hourglass figure. The pec muscles too, you can see that it's more developed and there's flatter, right? Looking at a female over here and there's a male, all right? Another picture. Now here's the second so-called supposed, which I don't believe is his son in any way, son of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mara Shriver, and this one's name is Christopher Schwarzenegger. But you can see he has hips, right? These are not the hips of a man, all right? These are the hips of a female. Can you see that? He has hips, and see how short the hands are, all right? Some more pictures. Look at that. Look at that face right here. And this is the sister. The thing, one I think is a brother. I don't have enough facts and evidence on this. I just have barely enough, but I think this is a boy over here and this is a girl over here, right? But we're talking about Christopher for now, so I just want you to take a look at his face. You can see that the face has no eyebrow ridge. It's a sweet, girly face. And look at that smile. The poutier lips. Women have much more fuller, poutier lips than men. You can see this is the fuller lips, and this is the thinner lips of a man, all right? Over this way. Let's go further. And look at Christopher one more time again, right? Look at his face. Look at the poutier lips. Look at the eyes, right? This is a girly face. You don't have no eyebrow ridge. You're looking at a female, all right? Who's been force-fed hormones and forced to live as a male, right? Another picture. And here is him with Myra Shriver. As you can look, if you look closely, you will see that he or she resembles his mom or her mom, right? He doesn't resemble Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now I want you to start looking at this, like I always say on my videos, look with your eyes and see with your brain. He looks like his mother. There is no genetic trait, no touch of resemblance to Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, and look at those hips again. Can you see that? Those are female hips. See how wide they are? that you're looking at a female, not a man, not a dude. Okay. Another picture over here. As you can see, this is two females, right? And look at the pose. You can look at the pose right here to see that this is female. Look at the wide hips, all right? Can you see that? Even with the jeans or whatever, it can't hide. Look at the feminine pose. You're looking at two females, all right? Can you see that? All right, another picture. Look at that. I want you to take a look at the hips again. Those are curvy hips that a female has. This is not a man. All right. Now, the only person I think who's the true gender in this family who hasn't changed is Catherine, because I've looked her up. She's 100% female. But here is not a man. This is a female, and I'm not sure that this is a man, a girl either. I think this is a boy because the arms here are way too long. All right. I'll show you some more facts about that as we go on. Now here's two of them again, Patrick and Christopher. As you can see, look at those hips right here. Look at those hips. Look at how round it is. That's the round hips of a fat female. All right. Can you see the arch in the back? There's an arch in the back right there. Can you see that hourglass figure right there up there? Can you see the round fat butt of a female? You're looking at two females. The hourglass figure is still here on Patrick. So let's go further. This one, okay, from here now, I'm talking about the so-called daughter whose name is Christina Schwarzenegger as well. But you can see the arms are way too long for this thing to be female. The hands too are way too large. Can you see how that it is? It's how long it is. It's almost reaching down to the knees. All right. A female's arms shouldn't be that long, showing you that I'm not certain but for a fact, I don't have enough pictures to prove, but I know just by looking at some of these things that it has the potential to be a man much more than a woman. All right. Some other pictures. And here is Christina again, showing you the strong neck, the wide, strong neck, which men usually have because the men have like 10% more brain matter, causing the skulls to be much more heavy. So because it's that heavy, it needs a wider neck for support base, all right? So they can carry the weight of the head on top. So that's what I wanted you to see as well. All right. Another picture over here. I want you to look at the hands this time around, right? Look at that hands. She's one of the most covered up females of all time. She should be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most covered up female of all time. It's always in flats too. You never quite see her wearing any heels, always covered up. And the Q angle here doesn't seem right. It should be more linear, but as you can see, it's much more straighter down here. All right, telling you that you're looking at a male. All right. Okay, we'll do some more comparisons on some other pictures. Here's another picture of what I'm trying to show you. Kristen is always covered up, and the way it stands, see the way it stands, and look at the hands right here. See how huge these hands are compared to her sister over here. What's the name again? I keep forgetting the name. I just keep forgetting the Catherine Schwarzenegger. You can see how small the hands and see how huge her hands are. You're looking at a male here, and this is female. She's still female, right? I want you to see that Mara Shriver's daughters, one's male and one's female. Okay, can you see that? See how huge those hands are compared to this one over here? All right. And she's always covered up, right? Okay, let's go further. Another picture. If you're looking at that, you would closely see that that's a boy's face, all right? That's not a female's face. Now, don't let the long hair deceive you, because like I've always said in my videos, the long hair is to cover up the shoulders and cover up the neck to distract you from looking at that, so you think that you're looking at a female when you're looking actually at a male. Okay, right? And you can see there is no resemblance between Arnold and this supposed daughter at all. No resemblance, no genetic trait. There is not 1 inch of Arnold's blood in here. You have to look closely to see that, so you're not deceived anymore. All right, let's go further. Here's another picture, just still trying to show you how huge the arms are and the hands, right? Can you see how huge those arms are? This is a picture that, like, I did do a good job of covering up a picture so you can really see um, her very well. She's always clothed, always behind the camera or something, so you never actually get to see her. But you're looking at a male here, and one of the comparisons I always like making about is who has the bigger head. Because if you're male, you're supposed to have like a 10% bigger skull than a female of the same height, taking account into the weight and also the same ethnicity. They're both white or Caucasian, so we could measure or like compare the skulls, and you can see this is the bigger head. She has a smaller one, so I'm thinking, right? This is male, right? Another picture, this one we're comparing the knees. So as you can see, the calf muscles around here, that's the calf muscles of a man compared with the calf muscles over here. This is female. Can you see that? It's smooth, it's linear. From the way it stands from the Q angle down, for a female it's going to be linear. All right, the Q angle will be acute from the knee down to the hips, right? But from the calf muscles down, it should be much more linear. Now look at this right here. You can see the calf muscles are out of proportion, just shooting out. This is a male knee, right? Can you see that too here? Looking at the male knee, compare the knees, compare the calf muscles, and you see the difference of what I'm talking about. This is male, this is female, all right? Okay, let's move further, some other pictures. And one of the things I'm always trying to show you now on this particular picture, now if you are a movie director or you've been in a movie or an actor, you would know that this is a pose that has been set to hide certain things, to hide certain facts from you. Now, one thing you have to notice about this pose is that both these ladies over here are wearing sleeveless dresses. And then him over here is wearing a sleeved dress, showing you they're covering something up. Now let me go further to show you the legs of what I'm talking about, all right? Now you see the mark over here? Now these are marks that are set on a movie set so that the actors can know where to stand and how to position themselves for a shot in the movie set. So since movies are moving pictures, meaning pictures that are moving, so here is a set to hide certain facts about what you're looking at. Now, if you compare the feet, all right, of these ladies over here, you will see that this is the much huge and bigger fit, all right? And he's wearing black, all right? And it's been set up in such a way that when they take this picture, right, the feet will hide. So that is the reason for the marker over here. So they're setting him up over here as the marker to hide the show of this shot, all right? To make this head look smaller and make him look like the man, right? And hide this one. That's why she's inside the picture and these two are outside. And the shutter right here is the cross right here, the marker, so that they can know how to position themselves. It's like something on set when you want your actors to move a certain way, you paint, and then when you want to hide stuff later on, this is a marker you keep so that when you're moving the pictures around and hiding stuff, you have this marker, like let's say the anchor for the picture, so you know where you're moving your pieces. All right, let's go further again. And here's another picture of Christina. As you can see, she's wearing flats, and these other girls are wearing some sort of heely shoes in some way. And she's wearing very dark tights to hide the legs, right? And she's distorting her face with a smile. As you can see, she has the biggest head amongst all these females, showing you that you're looking at a male over here, all right? See that? And then she's hiding. Look, you can see the protruding knee, all right? These other knees look very feminine in their poses. not too strong, very soft. You don't see a lot of knee. You see less kneecap. But you can see this knee right here is still shooting forward. But because of the very dark tights that she's wearing or he's wearing, you can't see that much. See all these other ladies right here? You're wearing very light tights. And him over here is wearing very dark tights. Now you're looking at a male over here. All right. Let's go further some other pictures. And these pictures, I just wanted to show you the leg differences of one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, Christopher. You can see those legs. Those are the legs of a female. Look at how small the feet are. All right. Look at how small that feet is. All right. You're looking at a female right here. You can see how beautiful the legs are. The calf muscles are not overdeveloped or whatsoever. Right. Let's go further. Another picture now. Here's the Christina again, and as you can look at those feet, those knees, you're looking at the feet of a man. Look at the calf muscles. See how rugged it is. It's not beautiful or slender as the moms over here. Another picture I'll show you very soon. Same picture again. Look at the calf muscles. Look at those legs right there, right? You see the calf muscles? Those are the calf muscles of a man, right? It's not slender, it's rugged. And you can see that even though he's been given a lot of testosterone to put a lot of fat on the thigh, but you can still see that it's almost the same because men have well balanced upper thighs to their lower thighs. Females have more developed upper thigh to the lower thigh. All right, and so that hides up a lot of the knees for a female, but as you can see, still see it's protruding here. Look at the calf muscles again. Those are the calf muscles of a man, not a woman. Look at those legs again. Take a good look. All right, we go further. Here's another picture, and if you look at this picture right now here, you will see, you would definitely think you're looking at a dude, right? And they always try to hide the fact that she's always in flats most of the time, flats, so you can see the height and see how huge this female is. All right, another picture, and this picture I want to show you the arms again. You can see the sisters wearing heels, everybody's wearing heels, she's in flats, and see how long the arm is, right? That's the arm of a male. If I draw a line from the crotch area down here, down this way, you would see ends above the wrists. Always a clear sign that you're looking at a male, because male have longer arms than females of the same height. All right. Another picture. If you look at this face right here, you would see is the face of a boy, not a female. She looks very, very boyish. If you cut off the long hair, which is a distraction, that is the face of a boy. All right. Another picture, and still want to show you the calf muscles. All right. Right. The calf muscles of a man. That's not female. Compare that with the calf muscles of her mom over here. You're looking at a male here, and this is a female, right? And look at the long arms again. How long those arms are, right? Okay, some more pictures, and you can see that clearly she has the biggest head here. It's 10% more bigger than the head over here, in which they're almost the same height, showing you that this is male and this is female, right? That's just what I wanted to show you on that. You can look again, the bigger head right here, right? It's bigger than this one over here. Christina's head is bigger than her sister's head, whose name is Catherine, right? And you can see the resemblance all resemble the mom. They don't resemble Arnold Schwarzenegger in any way. And here's another picture, just trying to show you the hands and the knees and the calf muscles. Those are the calf muscles of a dude. This is not the calf muscles of a female. All right. Another picture. And then with this one, we're going to compare the calf muscles. Now, if you compare, let's say, so here you have Maria Shriver, who is female. And here you have Arnold Schwarzenegger's calf muscles, which is male. So I want you to take a good look so you can see who we are looking at right now. Okay. Now we go back to the calf muscles. If you compare this calf muscle to the ones over here, and you compare it to the ones over here, which one resembles the most? Which one does it resemble the most? These calf muscles resemble the calf muscles of Arnold Schwarzenegger. That means this is a man. It doesn't resemble the calf muscles here of Maria Shriver. All right? Can you see how strong those calf muscles are? It's the same as this over here. You're looking at the same calf muscles over here. These legs are comparable to this and not comparable to this, showing you that you're looking at a male. All right, let's go further. And there's another picture. You can see how long the arms are compared to his sister. See that? The arms almost reaches down to the knees, and see with the fingers, and even then the fingers are folded because this is deliberately done to hide, to show you, to hide the how big the hands are. Because if you draw a line right here, it's very long. Compared, just draw the line from those hands down to the thighs of a sister over here, and you can see the difference, how long it is, right? The longer arms of a man. This is female. This is a dude, all right? Some more pictures. Look again, longer arms. Again, and look at the knees. Compare the knees and the calf muscles. Can you see that? This is the calf muscles of a dude, right? Calf muscles of a female. Can you see that difference right there? Can you see that? All right. Let's go further. And here is a picture of when she was much younger. Now tell me that you're looking at a girl. No, this can be a girl. You're looking at a dude. This is Christina when she was much more younger. Christina Schwarzenegger. As you can see, right? Look at that. You're looking at a boy in skirt. Would you look past this up and say it was a girl? No, you wouldn't, all right? I want you to take a look. Look at the hands. Look at the legs. Have a full view. Can you see that? That is a boy and not a girl. Another picture. And here's what I'm trying to show you, that they cover up a lot of stuff. So you can see that the two females here are not wearing anything on their legs. So the reason why is because they are female. They don't need to hide any stuff. The man over here is wearing tights to cover up the knees, because you would notice a difference across the knees when you're looking. So you would see, oh, okay, there's something off with the knees right here. This knees look strange. And look at the way it sits, right? Because men have a shorter pubic arch. Females have a wider pubic arch of 120 degrees or more. So they tend to cross their feet more, and everything just looks, they cross their feet much more better at their thighs. As you can see the way she sits here, you're looking at a male's knees. These are females over here. So that's why she's wearing the tights, to cover up that so you wouldn't see that. And the long hair to hide the shoulders, but you can see how huge the hands are and how long they are, right? Okay, more pictures. So this is the last picture that we have for the video, and I just put this up here to show you that this is the only son, or the only son, that Arnold Schwarzenegger can really have, because the story was that he slept with his maid, and the lady got pregnant, and the boy's name is Joseph Boehner, right? Joseph Boehner. And as you can see, this is the only resemblance that Arnold has in the family. The rest of the children that he had with Maria Shriver are not his kids. I don't think they are his kids, because as I've said earlier before, he's just a regular, be it Freemason or someone who Maria Shriver fell in love with. She's of a royal bloodline, the Vatican line, the transgender line, that the political appointees of the Vatican. So they can mix up the bloodline. So that's just what it is. She's allowed to marry because she likes who she likes, but she can't have kids. So that's why those children all resemble Maria and don't resemble Arnold. This is the only striking resemblance of a son that he has with another woman whose name I can't really quite remember, but the son's name here is Joseph Boehner. All right, so with that, we come to the end of today's video. I advise that you subscribe and stay tuned, and remember, like I always say, look with your eyes but see with your brain. Thanks, and bye bye.